The TD Garden is a multi-purpose arena in Boston, Massachusetts. It is named after its sponsor, TD Bank, a subsidiary of Canada's Toronto-Dominion Bank. TD Garden is the home arena for the Boston Bruins of the National Hockey League and Boston Celtics of the National Basketball Association. It is owned by Delaware North, whose CEO, Jeremy Jacobs, also owns the Bruins. It is the site of the annual Beanpot College Hockey Tournament, and hosts the annual Hockey East Championships. The arena has also hosted many major national sporting events including the 1999, 2003, and 2009 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Regional First and Second Rounds, the 2009 and 2012 Sweet 16 and Elite 8, the 1998 Frozen Four, the 2004 Frozen Four, the 2014 United States Figure Skating Championships, the 2006 Women's Final Four, and it will host the 2015 Frozen Four. It hosted Games 3, 4, and 6 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals and the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals for the Bruins, and Games 1, 2, and 6 of the 2008 NBA Finals and Games 3, 4, and 5 of the 2010 NBA Finals for the Celtics. History, planning. In 1985, Boston Garden owner Delaware North was awarded the rights to construct a new arena by the Boston Redevelopment Authority and Mayor Raymond Flynn. However, poor economic conditions delayed the project. On May 8, 1992, Delaware North announced that they had secured funding for a new arena in the form of $120 million worth of loans evenly split between Bank of Boston, Fleet Bank of Massachusetts, and Shawmut National Corporation. That December, a bill approving construction of the new arena was killed in the Massachusetts Senate by Senate President William M. Bulger. Legislative leaders in Delaware North attempted to reach an agreement on plans for the new arena, but in February 1993 Delaware North owner Jeremy Jacobs announced that he was backing out of the project as a result of the legislature's demand that his company pay $3.5 million in linkage payments. 2 weeks later, after a new series of negotiations, the two sides finally came to an agreement, and on February 26 the legislature passed a bill that allowed for construction of a new sports arena. Construction began on April 29, 1993. Plans for the new arena stated that it would be slightly north of the old facility. The term slightly north ended up meaning that there was only 9 inches of space between the two buildings when construction was completed. The site for the new arena occupied 3.2 acres. It eventually cost $160 million. Ground was broken on April 29, 1993. In 27 months, quick by today's standards, the arena was built. That included 7 weeks of delay caused by heavy snowfall. The Shawmut Center opened on September 30, 1995. Naming. When constructed to replace the aging Boston Garden, the arena was called the Fleet Center. The arena opened on September 30, 1995. During the construction phase, the naming rights to the new garden were sold to a major Boston-based regional bank, Shawmut Bank. However, just as the Shawmut Center was being completed, Shawmut merged with its somewhat larger rival, the Providence-based Fleet Bank. The merger was negotiated in secret while Shawmut and Fleet's marketing departments were simultaneously engaged in a spirited bidding war for the arena's naming rights. The post-merger bank had effectively been bidding against itself. The bank which won the competition for the new garden's naming rights, Shawmut, was the bank whose name disappeared during the merger. Shortly before the new arena opened, every seat, which had been stamped with the Shawmut logo, had to be replaced. Also, the entire color scheme for the interior had to be adjusted. The name of the arena was expected to change as a result of the April 1, 2004 merger of Fleet Boston Financial with Bank of America. On January 5, 2005, Delaware North announced an agreement under which the bank made a payment to be released from the remaining 6 years on the naming rights agreement. The agreement left Delaware North free to sell the naming rights to another sponsor. On March 3, 2005, Maine-based TD Bank North, a U.S. subsidiary of Toronto-Dominion Bank, announced its purchase of the naming rights for $6 million per year. The first major event after the announcement was the 2005 Hockey East Men's Tournament. The company named the facility TD Bank North Garden in honor of the original Boston Garden. The name officially became the TD Bank North Garden on July 1, 2005. Prior to that date, it went under the name Your Garden. In early 2005, while still searching for a long-term corporate sponsor, the Fleet Center conducted auctions on eBay to sell one-day naming rights. From February 10 to March 13, the Fleet Center sold the naming rights 30 different times on eBay. The net proceeds of $150,633.22 generated during the auction was donated to charities in the greater Boston area, and $40,000 worth of My Grandma's coffee cakes was donated to local food banks. The Fleet Center also made private arrangements with a few companies for one-day naming rights, and offered one day's rights in an employee raffle. During the name auction, only twice were names reported to be rejected. Kerry Conrad, a New York City lawyer and Yankees fan, won naming rights for March 1 with a bid of $2,300. He proposed the name Derek Jeter Center, after the New York Yankees shortstop, a stalwart fellow Harvard College alumnus and Boston Red Sox fan Jerry Rappaport, Jr., with whom he had a 25-year-old rivalry. Being in the heart of Red Sox Nation, the name did not sit well with the executives and was rejected. An agreement was reached in which Rappaport added $6,300 for a total bid of $8,600, representing the 86 years of the curse of the Bambino, and named the arena New Boston Garden, home of the Jimmy Fund champions. Fark.com founder Drew Curtis held a contest on his website to name the arena after he bought single-day rights. A user vote resulted in the Fark.com UFIA Center coming on top, but the name was rejected due to its inappropriate meaning. The name eventually selected by Curtis and Company was Boston Garden. Including its present name, the TD Garden has had 33 different names. Celtics players dubbed it the Jungle during the team's 2002 playoff run. In April 2008, TD Bank North became TD Bank, after a merger with Commerce Bancorp, a New Jersey Euro-based bank. Owner Delaware North Companies announced on April 15, 2009, that the building would be renamed TD Garden in July 2009. Renovations. Before the 2006 Euro-07 season, the TD Garden underwent a major overhaul, installing a new HD entertainment board. For basketball, video advertising panels replaced the traditional scrolling panels, and added a see-through shot clock, joining the FedEx Forum, Wells Fargo Center, Phillips Arena, U.S. Airways Center, United Center, Quicken Loans Arena, and the Time Warner Cable Arena. In addition, a vintage siren, just as the original Boston Garden had used, was added to replace the end-of-period horn for hockey only, a feature of the Montreal Canadiens, the Bruins' arch-rivals, at the Montreal Forum and the current center bell. In 2009, an LED energy-efficient lighting system was added to the exterior of the building. The arena has been recognized by many industry publications as one of the top arenas in the country. Arena industry publication Venues Today ranked the TD Garden as the number 3 arena in the country for 2006. Additionally, the TD Garden has been recognized with the following recent awards and achievements: 2007 TD Garden selected as finalist for National Sports Forum Achievement Award, 2008 TD Garden receives EPA Award, 2009 nominated for Sports Facility of the Year by Sports Business Journal. On January 25, 2013 during a Celtics vs Knicks game at the Garden, television announcer Marv Albert accused the TD Garden production crew for being one of those arenas that constantly use fake sound effects to intensify the crowd reactions on nationally televised games. However, the official Twitter account of the Boston Celtics stated that the Celtics have never used artificial crowd noise. Following their 2011 Stanley Cup Finals win, the Bruins changed their previous Stanley Cup banners to reflect the changes in the team's main jersey logo through time during their past 5 Cup wins, as the current logo adorns the 2011 Cup wins banner. Usage, sports. The arena is primarily the home venue for the NBA's Boston Celtics and the NHL's Boston Bruins. It has hosted the 1996 NHL All-Star Game, the 2008 and 2010 NBA Finals, and the 2011 and 2013 Stanley Cup Finals. While dominant in their previous arena, Boston Garden, the Celtics and Bruins were initially much less successful in their new home as both teams missed the playoffs numerous times and failed to make their league's conference finals until 2008. That year the Celtics defeated their arch-rival Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games, clinching the 2008 NBA championship in the Garden. The Bruins overcame the Vancouver Canucks in 7 games to capture the 2011 Stanley Cup, winning all games in the Garden with lopsided scores and then taking the championship on the road at Rogers Arena. In the 2013 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Bruins overcame a 4-1 deficit in the deciding Game 7 against the Toronto Maple Leafs to win 5-4 in overtime, en route to making it to the finals. The Chicago Blackhawks hoisted the Stanley Cup in the Garden after a stunning comeback in the final minute of Game 6. Eddie Palladino is the current public address announcer for Celtics games, while Jim Martin is the public address announcer for Bruins games. Ron Poster is the arena organist. The arena is the home of the annual Beanpot College hockey tournament between the Boston University Terriers, Boston College Eagles, Harvard University Crimson and Northeastern University Huskies. The facility has hosted the 2001 U.S. Figure Skating Championships, the 1996 World Junior Ice Hockey Championships, the 1996 and 2000 U.S. Gymnastics Trials, and the 1998 and 2004 NCAA Men's Frozen Four. TD Garden is one of 2 NBA arenas with parquet floors. The Celtics are best known for the tradition of the parquet floor from their Boston Garden years, originally built after World War II because of costs and the scarcity of lumber in that time. However, a traditional floor was used in the 2006 NCAA Women's Final Four and the 2009 NCAA Men's East Regional. When the 2012 NCAA Men's East Regional was held at TD Garden, a lighter shaded parquet floor was used, with the same NCAA-specific design. Ricky Hatton began his American dream here on May 13, 2006. He stepped up to welterweight to fight WBA world champion Luis Collazo. After knocking Collazo down after seconds into the first round, Hatton was made to work hard to earn a unanimous point win. Other events. The very first concert ever hosted at the now TD Garden was REM. On October 2, 1995. Since its grand opening in 1995, more than 30 million people have come to the TD Garden to see the arena's famous tenants, the NHL's Boston Bruins and NBA's Boston Celtics, as well as world-renowned concerts, sporting events, family shows, wrestling, ice shows and so much more. Home to approximately 200 public events annually, the TD Garden hosts well over 3.5 million people each year. Among the non-sporting events hosted by the Garden are concerts, shows, graduations, seminars, Disney on Ice, the circus, and commencement exercises for Northeastern University. Comedians such as Tim Allen, Dennis Leary, Chris Rock and Louis C.K., among many others, have all performed at the TD Garden during their nationwide tours. It has hosted many WWE events such as WrestleMania 14 in 1998, the 2000 King of the Ring, the 2003 and 2011 Royal Rumble, the 2006 SummerSlam, the 2008 Survivor Series and 2013 Survivor Series, and 2012 Night of Champions. It has been a regular stop for Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, notable episodes that have been held here at the 900th episode of Raw and celebrating a decade-long of SmackDown. The WWE returned to the Garden for a SmackDown taping on April 9, 2013. WWE returned on March 25, 2014 for a SmackDown taping. WWE returned to TD Garden on June 29, 2014 for WWE Money in the Bank. On August 28, 2010, the TD Garden hosted UFC 118, which was the first time that the UFC held an event in Boston. UFC President Dana White confirmed that the UFC would return to the Garden, which took place on August 27, 2013. The TD Garden hosted UFC on Fox Sports 1, the launch of the new Fox Sports 1 cable channel, on August 17, 2013. This was the second UFC event to take place at the TD Garden. The singer-songwriter Lady Gaga performed at the arena for the first time on her The Monster Ball tour on July 1 to Euro 2, 2010. She's also set to perform here again for the Art Rave, the ARTPOP Ball on June 30, 2014. Lady Gaga was scheduled to perform here during her Born This Way ball, but the show was cancelled because of a hip injury. Justin Bieber has performed at the arena for both of his world tours, the My World Tour on November 16, 2010, and his Believe Tour on November 10, 2012. Both of the concerts performed to sell-out crowds. Cher performed at the arena on April 9, 2014 for a sold-out crowd, during her Dress to Kill tour. On July 26 to July 29, 2004, the TD Garden was the host of the 2004 Democratic National Convention, in which then-Senator of Massachusetts John Kerry was nominated as the Democratic candidate for the 2004 presidential election. The convention was also famous for then-Senator and future President Barack Obama's keynote speech, which began the speculation of him running for president in the 2008 presidential election. Boston Garden redevelopment. In May 2013, Delaware North Companies and Boston Properties proposed plans to construct a multi-purpose twin-tower structure on the former lot of the original Boston Garden. The complex would encompass 1,700,000 square feet, of which 300,000 square feet will be allotted for retail space and 600,000 square feet for commercial offices. It will also include 500 residential units, a 200-room hotel, and an 800-space underground parking garage. Construction is expected to begin in early 2014. The Boston Globe announced a $70 million project upgrade to TD Garden's Concourses and Legends Club restaurant, along with technology upgrades and the relocation of a retail shop. Construction will occur in two phases, summer 2014 and then summer 2015. Features, statue. On May 2010, a bronze statue of famed Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr, in a famous flying pose celebrating a goal, was unveiled outside the stadium. Museum, located in TD Garden, is the Sports Museum. The museum's exhibits focus on the history of various sports in the Boston area, including the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics. Facilities. Just as the Boston Garden was, the TD Garden is built on top of Boston's North Station, a major transportation hub. The commuter rail waiting area becomes crowded during events due to this design. The fans shared a relatively small area with commuters and several fast food concessions. Work finished on the expanded North Station concourse in early 2007. A new, larger, railway concourse gives railway passengers a waiting area which does not interfere with patrons entering or leaving the garden. Connections to the Orange Line and Green Line are near the eastern entrance to the garden. The Green Line formerly ran on an elevated train in front of the building, however, a Green Line tunnel was completed in 2004. The elevated rail was demolished afterwards. The TD Garden has been seen mentioned in movies such as The Town, Night and Day, Zookeeper, and Ted. See also, Boston Arena, the Bruins' original home rink, built in 1910 and still in use, Boston Garden, TD Ameritrade Park Omaha, TD Bank Ballpark, TD Bank Sports Center, Toronto Dominion Bank Arena. List of indoor arenas by capacity. References. External links. TD Garden.